Hey guys, I'm Fia, and this is my guide to collecting every dungeon and raid mount from the Wrath of the Lich King expansion. These guides are designed for modern WoW, although some might work for classic, and I'll be going into detail on navigation for any of you who might not have played through this content before. There are 10 mounts here, so let's get cracking. Big thanks to Blizzard for sponsoring this video. The Reigns of the Proto-Drake drop from the Culling of Stratholme dungeon found in the Caverns of Time in Tanaris. This mount is a heroic only mount and there is a timer, but it's very easy to meet. To find the dungeon, take the Caverns of Time portal from your appropriate capital city, head down the winding path and keep towards the wall on your left until you find the first portal. Make sure your dungeon is set to heroic before you zone in. Head up the scaffolding in front of you as you zone in and find Chromie in the basement of an inn. If you've already done this dungeon, you may be able to skip the early introductory stuff. Just select Chromie's second conversation option and you'll get ported to Stratholme proper. If you haven't done the dungeon before, you'll need to speak to her to start off some storytelling. Once you speak to Chromie, she'll start you through what looks like a quest chain, head up the stairs and exit the inn looking for glowing boxes called suspicious grain crates. Use the arcane disruptor Chromie's given you on these crates as you move towards Stratholme. Once you've found all 5 crates, follow the large path until you find Arthas and his men. Speak to Chromie before you approach them and stand in the glowy circle. Be patient, this goes on for a while. Once the conversation is done, follow Arthas into Stratholme, speak to him when you're able to. After some roleplay, it's time for combat. Once the first Scourge wave spawns noted at the top of your screen, the timer will begin. You have 25 minutes to clear the instance, but this is very easy at higher levels. The waves will spawn in the first 2 sections of the dungeon, and it's a little bit random where they pop up. All of the risen zombies will respawn, so just focus on killing the packs. The 5th wave will be your first boss, Meathook, and the 10th wave will be your second boss, Salaram the Fleshcrafter. Once you've defeated both bosses, you can follow Arthas into the building and start taking out infinite dragons disguised as citizens. Be patient with his roleplay and follow him up the stairs and around the corner, then take out your 3rd boss, Chrono Lord Epoch. Speak to Arthas and he'll activate a hidden door behind a bookshelf, follow him down through the cobweb pathway, out the building, and speak to him again to begin the gauntlet. You'll need to kill every last mob in this area or Arthas will stop to fight them and he has to make it through with you. There is an empty hallway where he'll stop, you don't need to speak to him, just wait and he'll begin moving again. Once you've cleared this gauntlet, speak to Arthas yet again, then continue forward and right through a gate to find Mal'Ganis, your last boss. Kill him, grab your loot and double back through the gate, turning right and following the path around to the left. If you're still within the timer, you'll see the Infinite Corruptor. Take him out and loot him for the guaranteed Reigns of the Proto-Drake. This will drop even if you already had the mount. Only 1 mount will drop, so best to solo this one. The Reigns of the Blue Proto-Drake drop from Utgard Pinnacle in Howling Fjord. This one is another heroic only mount, so make sure you have your dungeon difficulty set correctly before zoning in. Enter the dungeon and head straight ahead, turning right through the doorway. Take a left outside and make your way to the end of the run. Turn left to go back inside, head down the stairs, wait for Svala to complete her roleplay, then take her out as your first boss. Exit the room by turning right, then left, and head up the stairs. Turn left at the top of the stairs and click the pillar in this room to activate your second boss. Once all 5 creatures are killed, turn right at the end of the room to exit and head outside again to find Skadi the Ruthless. This is the boss that drops the mount. Make your way along the path taking out all of the mobs, and when you find harpoons, click them to pick them up. Then click the harpoon launchers at the end to fire them when Skadi is in range. Once enough harpoons have been fired, Skadi will land and you can take him out and hopefully loot your mount. This mount does have an approximate 1% drop rate and heroic dungeons have a daily lockout, so bring your old army. Good luck! Both the Azure Drake and the Blue Drake can be found in the Eye of Eternity raid in Borean Tundra. You can find the entrance on the left of your map in Caldara. There are a few portals in this building. The raid is the highest portal. Both mounts drop on both difficulties, so choose whichever you prefer for farming transmog alongside the mount. Enter the raid and click the blue orb. This will summon Malagos. Attack him, and once he drops below a certain health point, he will take off and summon Nexus Lords to help him. If you're playing a ranged class, you can kill all of them at range, but if you're a melee, you can take 1 out and they will drop their flying disc, which you can ride. Chase the others to take them out too. Once they're all dead, the platform will break apart and you'll be dropped onto a Drake. Find Malagos and use your spells on buttons 1 and 2 to take him out very quickly at max level. Loot Alexstrasza's gift, the big red crystal, and hopefully find your mounts. Being a raid, this is a weekly lockout. Feel free to throw as many ults at it as you can. There's also an exit portal that you can use to port straight back out. Nice and easy. The Twilight Drake and the Black Drake can both be found in Obsidian Sanctum. The portal can be found at the bottom of Wemrest Temple in Dragonblight. Heading from Dalaran, fly down into the big crack in the ice, through the door and straight into the portal. Once you've zoned in, it's super simple to get these mounts to drop. Just head straight forward, pull nothing else, kill Sotharian, and loot. Both Drakes are rewarded for killing Sotharian without killing any of his 3 lieutenants first. However, the Twilight Drake comes from 25-man mode, and the Black Drake comes from 10-man mode, so you won't be able to complete both of these mounts on the same character in the same week. If you have 2 toons capable of taking out Sarth, send 1 through 25 and 1 through 10 to get them both in the same week. Otherwise, just come back next week. The Grand Black War Mammoth looks different depending on what faction you're on. The Horde get one with red trimmed armor and the Alliance get one with blue. It drops from the Vault of Archivon, found in Wintergrasp. The trickiest part about this mount is having your faction holding Wintergrasp. It's a world PvP zone, so whichever faction has control of the zone can access the instance. If you arrive and your faction doesn't have control of Wintergrasp, you can either switch to a different faction toon and check on them, or you can wait for the timer to finish and compete in Wintergrasp, capturing the zone for yourself. Once your faction is in control of the zone, head into the fortress in the north and click the defender's portal to get access inside. There may or may not be a trick to getting inside if your faction isn't in control, but we're not here to talk exploits. The mount can drop from 25 or 10-man mode, so it doesn't matter what difficulty you select. Head inside the raid, down the stairs, all the way forward until you've made it to your first roundabout. Take a left and head to the end of the walkway to take out Korrivan the Flame Watcher. Double back and go straight through the roundabout to find Emelon the Storm Watcher. Once you've taken them out back to the roundabout, take a right, take another right at the next roundabout and hit Toravon the Ice Watcher. Back to the roundabout with another right and you'll find Archivon the Stone Watcher, your 4th boss. The Mammoth can drop from any of these 4 bosses, so make sure you clear the whole raid. It seems to have a fairly high drop rate, but if you're unlucky, you can always bring more toons. This is a raid with a weekly lockout, and the lockouts are shared, so each character can do either 10-man or 25-man each week. Mimiron's head drops from Yogg-Saron in Ulduar when you defeat him with the assistance of 0 keepers. Don't worry, we'll cover what that means in a minute. Head to the north of the Storm Peaks. You need to fly up to the raid entrance. Ulduar doesn't have 10 or 25 or normal or heroic difficulty, so you can just zoom straight in. Once you've zoned in, head to the left, speak to Bran Bronzebeard to start the encounter, and run on your mount straight past all of the towers to your first boss. There's a big empty area where you'll need to kill all the trash, and this will spawn the boss. Boss's loot is in a chest. Head north, loot, and walk past. There are 2 bosses here, but you can skip them. Just head straight through the crossroads towards XT002 Deconstructor. Take her out, loot the chest, click the teleporter, and select the Antechamber of Ulduar. There are another 2 bosses in the antechamber that are optional. If you'd like to skip them, just head straight up the stairs. As you approach the gap, Kolaghan will spawn. Kill him, run across his broken body, and loot your chest. Heading around to the right and down the stairs, take your first right turn into the Icy Corridor. Follow it around and take out Hodir. You can loot 2 chests on either side of this room once he's dead. Heading back out into the circular walkway, you may come across Oriah at any point. She walks constantly around this circle. You can take her out, she's another boss. Taking your next right turn off the hallway and you'll enter Thorim's domain. Kill the worm and the soldiers fighting it, and then pull the lever off to the left to begin the encounter. Run your way through this walkway, killing the runic colossus at the end to open the door. Head up the stairs, another runic colossus, through another door, and smack Thorim. 2 more chests for you to loot. Back out towards the walkway again, your next right turn takes you into Freya's domain. You can mount up in this room, so if your bags are full or getting close to it, now is a great time to empty them. Whenever you're ready, head straight forward, find Freya, and smack her. 2 more chests for you to loot. At this point, you might be able to teleport directly to Mimiron by selecting the Spark of Imagination option at the teleporter. If you can't, head back to the circular walkway and take your next right. Follow the path around, board the train, use the console to get it moving. Once it arrives, following the path again all the way down the stairs to either smack Mimiron or push the big red button to start the hard mode. Either way is fine for the mount. This is not the boss that drops the mount. They share a name, but the mount comes from Yogg. This fight has 4 stages. You fight his feet, his body, his head, and then all of him at once. It might take a little while, there's a lot of roleplay. Once you're done, loot the 2 chests, head back up the stairs, and use the teleporter to go back to the shattered walkway. Go left down the stairs this time, and note that all of the bosses you've defeated are standing around, and you can talk to them. Do not talk to them. This makes Yogg's fight easier, but it also removes the mount from the loot table. Take your first left and follow the path, clicking the gate to open it, around the broken pillar and through the gap in the wall, all the way along until you get to General Vezax. Smack him, loot his chest, and enter the now open door. You'll find Sarah in the middle of a puddle of bubbling ooze. In order to have her become attackable, you'll need to walk through the green clouds to spawn mobs, and kill those mobs directly underneath her. Grab a couple, run to the middle, and knock them all dead. Once Yogg-Saron pops up, he'll open portals into his mind, take one of these portals and kill everything you can find inside them until the illusion shatters and a path to the central chamber opens. Take this path and kill his brain, and Yogg-Saron will fall. Head back towards the entry to the room and open the chest and loot your mount. Hopefully. This mount does have a low drop chance, and being a raid, it is a once a week lockout, so be patient and bring your army. The Onyxian Drake is super easy to farm. It drops from Onyxia, in Onyxia's lair, in Dustswallow Marsh, over on Kalimdor, land in the entrance to the jaw-looking cave, and click the teeth to open them. Difficulty doesn't matter, run it on 10-man or 25-man depending on what you want or need. Zone in, head straight ahead just a little and hop over the barrier to your right. This will skip a little bit of running. Follow the path straight ahead and around. There's no branching, super straightforward. Once you find Oni, smack her. Even the strongest of hits will take her to 1 hit point and she'll wander off to start her air phase. Sit tight, let her whelps come to you, and eventually she'll land again. Smack her again to polish her off and loot. Raid has a weekly lockout, but it's a super quick run. Go alt army. Invincible is arguably one of the most well-known mounts in WoW, and it's iconic. We'll be hitting up Icecrown Citadel on 25-man heroic mode, taking out the Lich King himself at the top. Always double check your difficulty. After zoning in, head straight forward, cutting through any trash that pulls and take out Lord Marigar. Take the ramp up to the right, then right through the big doorway, down to the stage for Lady Deathwhisper. Once she's down, give it a second for the lift to arrive, hop on and ride it to the top. You'll step off the same edge as you stepped on. There's a difference here depending on the faction you're playing. Hordes want to turn right, Alliance players head left. Follow the balcony around until you can head up the ramp onto the loot ship. Speak to your NPC to get the party started. Some folks choose to stand around and wait for things to spawn in and kill here, but what I've found to work is entering a cannon, firing at the other faction's ship when it gets close, until I'm kicked out of the cannon, kill what's there, and I'm done. The loot is in a chest near the ship's exit. Once the ship docks, wait for the NPC dialogue, and once you can, chat to them to begin the next encounter. Take out Deathbringer Sourfang. His loot is in a chest around to the right if you want it. Enter the Citadel, but maybe don't blink. I don't know what happened here. Try again. Enter the Citadel. Go either direction through the ice blowy things, and once you get to the circular path, head left. Taking your first left door, either ramp up and go left again. Follow the corridor around and take out Festigut. Then click the gas release valve. Don't forget. Back out straight through at the intersection for Rotface, and then click the ooze release valve. These 2 valves open the door for the next boss. Very important. Back out and take a right at the intersection, get trapped with some bugs, wait and head forward to kill Professor Putricide. Head straight back out to the big walkway again, turn left. Through your next left doorway, kill the trash here to open the door. Head up to the stage to trigger the dialogue, take out the princes when they wake up. Ramp up to the left to the balcony for Blood Queen Lanethel, then turn around and jump through the hole in the floor from the fallen chandelier. Left again at the walkway. Last big door on the left, this bit is an event thing, so kill all the trash to trigger Sister Svalna and take her out. Velithria Dreamwalker is next. If you're a class with healing spells, or if you have some bandages, you can take out the liches and heal her up, but if you don't, you can skip her. Just stick to the wall, and at max level they won't aggro. Head through the door behind her after whichever choice you make. Take the lift down, step off the same edge you stepped on, and move into the big circular room. Cross the middle and ads will spawn. Kill the big spiders, the frost wardens, and another round of big spiders, and the doors will open. Head north to more trash. Taking out both packs here will pull in the bigger dragons. Taking them out will pull in Zindragosa. Take her down, head up the ramp to the right. At the teleporter, choose the upper spire. Straight forward, step over the rune in the center pillar bit, and you'll be swept to the top of the Citadel where Tyrion Fordring is waiting. Speak to him, endure the roleplay, and take out the Lich King. Congrats! Maybe. Raid resets weekly so you can run your ults, just be sure to select the correct difficulty each time, as once you kill a boss on the wrong difficulty, you're locked for the week. Good luck! 10 more mounts added to your collection. Hopefully you got lucky and these didn't take you as long as they took me. I'd love to be able to help more people with these collecting guides, so hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And let me know in the comments which of these mounts is the top of your list. You can find me collecting live on Twitch 4 nights a week, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.